So now we're going to talk about a bi-level, which is a little bit simpler and most people don't miss it, but sometimes people do. So with the bi-level, again, we have our horizon. A builder comes along and he decides to excavate 4 feet below the horizon. So we're going to put a line here. Let's go put our line here. So there's our line, and this becomes a slab that the builder puts down. So let's draw a little slab here. That represents our slab. On top of the slab, the builder builds an 8-foot wall, and then on top of that he builds another 8-foot wall. This becomes our bi-level. It is 4 feet below grade usually, with the lower grade being on a slab, and it's always 2 stories. It's never 1.5 story. It's never 1 story. It's never a basement because it sits on a slab. There is never ever a basement. If there is a garage, because there is never ever a basement and it sits on a slab, then the garage has to be either a built-in garage, assuming the garage were here. Let's see if we can add a built-in garage. Well, first let's move this around a little bit and give it some depth. So we'll go here and here. So that'll be our first floor. This is our second floor. This is our slab that everything sits on. Let's go back, try that again. Yeah, that's fine. And let's see if we can add one more section, say here. And if we can make that, yeah, so there's our built-in garage. So if we're looking at a bi-level again, slab, first floor, second floor. If there is a garage, it's a built-in garage because this is the first floor of the house. Now it is possible that the garage could be attached. So if it sits out here like this, and we give it some depth, let's pull it forward or whatever and rotate it around. So in that instance, so we have a bi-level with a built-in garage and an attached garage, okay? But the bi-level itself is always 2 stories, and it is always on a slab. The door for a bi-level always sits at the midline of the bi-level. So if there was a door, it sits, it's not going to let me do that. Let's try this. Yeah, that's not going to work. We're going to give up on that. So if there was a door with the bi-level, it would sit exactly midway between the 2 levels. The door would be here. Okay? This is different than if you have a 1-story house with a basement. The 1-story house with a basement would have as the horizon, the horizon would sit here. Okay, the bi-level, the horizon sits here. Okay, this is the horizon, this is excavated, this is above ground. If this were a 1-story house with a basement, then we would have a full basement that's excavated below, and this is the first floor of the house. If this garage were here, it would have to be actually a basement garage because it sits in the basement level of the house. Okay, if the horizon were here, there, then of course we have a 2-story house with an attached garage sitting on a slab, okay, or whatever it's sitting on. So it depends on where grade is to a certain extent and the style of the house. But the style of the house for a bi-level, again, it sits 4 feet below grade. This is grade. It sits 4 feet below grade. It always sits on a slab. It's 2 stories. The door intersects the midline of the first and second floor. If there's a garage, the garage will either be built in as built into the living area of the main house, or the garage could be attached, or it could be a carport, but it will never be a basement garage, okay, because the house doesn't have a basement.